we'll move ahead on like, so till now we have seen this Gauss law for electric and magnetic field. We need to see Ampere circuital law and Faraday's law. So these two laws are very important. And so these four laws basically: Gauss law for electric field, Gauss law for magnetic field, Ampere circuital law, and Faraday's law. This four law forms the basis of Maxwell equation. Okay, Maxwell's equation. This four law forms the basis of Maxwell's equation. And then we move ahead to our next topic. So after this, we'll go for Maxwell's equation. Then we'll move ahead to our next topic, which is the, so when we solve this Maxwell equation, we get something called as uniform plane waves. Okay. Yeah, so like Maxwell's equation, and then we'll study the boundary conditions also. Okay, so at boundary conditions where the medium changes, okay, where the medium changes, so how the electric magnetic field changes, that we'll derive. And then we'll move to, in our next lecture we'll derive this uniform plane waves. Okay, and we'll derive something called as Helmholtz equation. And then the reflection or refraction of this plane waves, and that is where this next module, which is on uniform plane waves, that ends. I mean, yeah, so this is one of the modules, and this is the another module. So today we'll try to cover till here, and tomorrow the next time we'll try to cover these things. Okay. Yeah, so let's move towards Ampere circuital law. Okay, so we have seen so like all must have studied Ohm's law, right, in their basic school, which states that V is equals to IR. So it defines something called as R, the ratio of the potential difference between two points and the current flowing through the conductor. And we also study in our basic school that R is what? Resistivity. The resistance is what? Resistance is resistivity into length upon area of cross section of a conductor, right? Area of cross section of a conductor. So if the resistivity, if I define it by say rho, we have already defined it for charge density. So let us not define resistivity, better we will define something called as conductivity. We will define conductivity. So conductivity is what? It is 1 upon resistivity, and that we define it as sigma. So resistivity will be 1 upon sigma. So our resistance R, okay, it will be what? 1 upon conductivity, which is sigma. So resistivity is 1 upon conductivity into L upon A. So this is for a conductor of conductivity sigma and length L, and where the area of cross section is A, and the resistance is between 2 points is capital R. Okay. now suppose if I consider an arbitrary surface, and this is like an arbitrary cylinder. Okay, it's like an arbitrary cylinder. So if the current flowing, so most like in electric field also we saw, because the charges are not uniformly distributed, so we don't deal with discrete charges, we define something called as charge density, right? Similarly, in case of magnetic field, because the uh, current flow is not uniform, so what we define is, we define something called as current density. We define something called as current density. Okay. So this is a vector J bar, current density is a vector J bar. So J bar, okay, and if this is a surface S, this is a surface S, surface area S, and if I take a small area ds, if I take a small area ds, and if J is passing through that, so the J bar dot ds bar, okay, J bar dot ds bar along a surface, if I do the surface integral of J bar dot ds bar, what I will get is the current. Okay, so this is how we get current. Because current is not uniformly distributed, that is why we use this relation where J is the current density. Okay. Okay. Now we also know this relation V is equals to IR. No. So so this is for a non-uniform current density. Now if I assume that J is constant, suppose if I assume J is constant, so I can take J out, and surface integral of the integral of surface will give us what? The total area. It will give us the total area. So what I get is I is equals to J S. If they are along the same direction, I is equals to J S. Okay, where J is the current density. Okay, now we have defined V is equals to IR. R we have got, we know I from here. So what will be my V? So it will be J into S. So this is also S, suppose. Okay, because we are defining area as S. So J into S, I, so this is I into R. R is what? 1 by sigma L by S. So S and S are gone. So what we get is V is equals to J L upon sigma. So from here we get V is equals to J L upon sigma. Okay. Now we have also seen, so if this is a conductor, okay, if this is a conductor where the current is flowing, okay, if this is a, suppose if this is a conductor, and so this is point A, suppose this is point B, so if the current is flowing, this is the current density vector. Now because there is a current flow, there will be potential difference between point A and B, right? I know. And that is why there is resistance, I mean the potential drop is there. Why? Because there is a resistance, right? So all things are related. So because there is a potential drop or the change in potential for a given length, there is change in potential. So we define something called as electric field, right? Which is what? Change in potential per unit length, electric field intensity, है ना? Because there is a current flow, there is difference in potential, so the E comes into picture, or we can say V is equals to E into L. And we have already obtained V as what? V is equals to, from the previous derivation, we have obtained V is equals to JL upon sigma. V is equals to JL upon sigma. So what do we get? So from these two relations, what do we get? What do we get? We get E is equals to J by sigma. Now this is a vector, this is a vector. Okay. This can be a scalar, this can be a tensor, depending upon medium. So if it's an isotropic medium, this becomes a scalar. If it's an anisotropic medium, this becomes a tensor. So we'll assume it's an isotropic medium. Okay, we don't go into tensor. So what do we get is we get J bar is equals to sigma E bar. This is an important relation. This is an important relation between the current density, which is what? Current per unit area. What is current density? It is current per unit area. Current flow per unit area. And E bar, which we have already studied in your previous module, E bar you have already studied in detail, right? So this gives the relation between the kind of, we can say, the electric field and the magnetic field. So J bar, so this is called conduction current density. Why? Because this is because of the conduction of charges. Conduction current density. and this is sigma conductivity, and this is E bar, which you all know. Yeah. So we have got the relation between the conduction current density and E bar. Now we'll move to, so while we derived this Biot-Savart's law and its application, what we obtained was, if you all remember, we obtained something called as H is equals to I by 2 pi r for an infinitely long conductor. For an infinitely long conductor, if I take any point which is at distance r, my H at that point is I by 2 pi r. So from here, what do I get? I get another, what I get is, so if this is the magnetic field, because this is the current carrying element and there will be a magnetic field. So the magnetic field, so the H keeps on changing every point. So what I get, how can I define current in terms of magnetic field? So basically it is what I will be, the current will be the line integral of, closed line integral of H bar dot dl. Because this is what integral of dl, right? This is integral of dl. So I can also define I as line integral of H bar. I can also define I as line integral of H bar. And here I have defined I as surface integral of J bar dot ds bar. Here I have defined I bar as, I mean the current. So I can also write this as surface integral of J bar dot ds bar. So like we saw the divergence theorem, what did divergence theorem do? It translated, if you all remember, translated d bar dot ds bar over a surface to the volume, d bar dot del dot d bar d. So this was divergence. So from surface to volume. In case of Stokes theorem, what happens is we go from closed line integral, okay, along a curve. So this is a curve, this is not a closed surface. If you see, this is a curve, this is not a closed surface which was there for divergence. Okay, here it was closed surface, here it is not a closed surface, here it's a closed line integral. Okay, so closed line integral of H bar is giving us what? So using Stokes theorem, what can I say? I can convert from line integral to surface integral. I can convert from line integral to surface integral by taking curl of the given vector. So here what do? We take the divergence of d bar. We take the divergence of d bar to convert from surface to volume. Similarly, from line to surface, what do? We use this this is curl, this is curl, and this is divergence. Is this fine? So here we use divergence theorem to move. So this is Gauss law, to move from surface, to convert from surface integral to volume integral. And we use Stokes theorem to convert from line integral, closed line integral to surface integral ds. Okay. So we take the curl of the given vector. Okay, so we have this relation, we have these two relations we have derived. And so see, where did we this get from? We get from the previous derivation. And where did we get this from? We get from the current definition of conduction current density. So by the definition of conduction current density, I is what? Surface integral of J bar dot ds bar. So this I can extend, right? I can extend this to what? By using Stokes theorem, I can extend this to surface integral, closed surface integral of, so del cross H bar dot ds bar. is equals to surface integral of j bar dot ds bar. So from here, what I can say, I can write surface integral of del cross h bar minus j bar dot ds bar is equals to 0. So from here, what I get is del cross h bar is equals to j bar. So this is our Ampere's circuital law. Ampere's circuital law. Okay. So what does Ampere circuital law states? What does Ampere circuital law states? Basically, it says the magnetomotive force. So like there in case of Coulomb's law, if you see, it says the electrostatic force between two charges. So here the magnetomotive force along the conductor. So if this is a conductor, the magnetomotive force along the conductor is equals to the line integral, or you can say so you can say the line integral of magnetic field. So the magnetomotive force, okay, let me see the exact definition. So it says the total magnetomotive force along a closed loop. Okay, right. So the total magnetomotive force along a closed loop. So here we are talking of a closed loop is equal to the net current enclosed by the loop. Net current enclosed by the, okay. So if you see, this is what it says. So the magnetomotive force along a closed loop is equals to the net current enclosed by the loop. Okay. So this is Ampere's circuital law. Ampere's circuital law. And we saw it in integral form. Integral form, it is what? Closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar. And in point form, what do we get? We get del cross h bar is equals to j bar. So we have seen that. We see that in point form it is what? Using Stokes theorem, we can convert the line integral to a surface integral, and this is how we take the curl of the vector, and then for a given surface of a conductor, if this satisfies this, then we can say this is equals to 0. That means this is equal. So this is Ampere's circuital law. Okay. Now we can solve some numerical based on this. So basically this involves what? Taking a curl of a vector. Taking a curl of h bar. So you all have calculated numericals based on divergence and curl, hai na? So you all know, right, how to calculate curl in different coordinate system. Hello. Shweta, do you know how to calculate curl? Aniket? Nivesh? How do we calculate curl for different coordinate system? Do you know that?
Just a second, sir.
Okay, ठीक है. Let's solve some numericals. You will understand. Okay, so let me take a numerical. Okay, so go for. So I think it's finished. I'll have to stop sharing. I can start. Hmm. Pages are finished. Okay, so let us solve a numerical. We have been given h bar for different coordinate system. Okay. We have been given h bar for different coordinate system. Suppose stop sharing, or maybe I will open a Word file. Open a Word file. Yeah. Yeah. So we have been. I mean, okay. Fine. So what we have been given is we have been given a H, capital H. So suppose no, not capital H. We have been given a J bar. The current density is equals to J naught to R into Az cap. Okay. Ampere per meter square. So the current density, the cylinder, there is a cylinder which has a current density J bar is this. Okay. And the cylinder's radius, so the radius of the cylinder is A. Radius of the cylinder is A, and it has a current density this, and it is placed along z-axis. Placed along z-axis. Okay, so there is a cylinder like this. Suppose it is placed along z-axis. So direction of current density is obviously along z direction. Okay, and the radius is A. The radius is A, and we are supposed to find. Yeah, so this current density is for R less than A. So this current density is for R less than A. So for anywhere in between, if you take a point, if you take a point which is less than A, this is the current density. Okay. Now we need to find what? We need to find H inside the conductor. H inside the conductor. So what all things we have been given? We have been given a cylinder which is of radius R, the current density which is for R less than A, current density for R less than A is given, and it is placed along z-axis. And we need to find H. We need to find H bar inside the conductor and also outside the conductor. Inside and outside. So if there is a current flowing, so that means it's a cylinder. Okay, it's a cylinder, long cylinder, where the current density is given J bar, inside the conductor, and we need to find H bar anywhere between within the conductor. We need to find H bar anywhere within the conductor. That means for R less than A, and we need to find H bar outside the conductor. That is for R greater than A. Why? Because this is a radius A. So anywhere in between, if you take a point, you will have to find H, and you will have to find H for anywhere point outside the conductor. Okay. So these two H we need to find. So what relation we have? We have a relation of del cross H bar is J bar, right? We have a relation of del cross H bar is J bar. This is point form, but we need to find H. So this relation is of no use, right? We need to find H. So what we'll do, we'll use point, not point form, we will use integral form. What is integral form? The integral form is integral of J bar dot ds bar. And the integral of J bar dot ds bar is what? Closed line integral of H bar dot dl bar, right? So we can use this relation, and so this is a surface integral and this is a closed line integral. We can use this relation, right? So what all things we have been given? We have been given J bar. So let us first calculate that. So if this is a cylinder, suppose if this is a cylinder, what will be integral of dl? Integral of dl will be what? This is a cylinder of say radius, or say if I take a Gaussian surface, if I take a, so this cylinder is of radius a, but I wish to find at any point with the radius say, so I wish to find any point with a radius say small r. So this is the small r at which I wish to find the h within the conductor. So my integral dl will be what? 2 pi r, right? So this will be h into 2 pi r, where r is what? So if this is a cylinder of radius a, so my r is this small r. Okay. Now what will be the left hand side? Integral of j bar dot ds, surface integral of j bar dot ds bar. So what is j bar given as? It is given as j naught into small r az cap. So it will be surface integral of j naught, some constant, into r into az cap. Az cap. And where is the direction of this ds bar? Where is the direction of ds bar? So this is a cylinder, right? This is a cylinder, and we know for cylinder, what do we know? We know that ds is what? R dr d phi, right? R dr d phi. So it is R dr d phi, and so our small r is varying from, so small r is varying from what? 0 to small r, and our phi varies from what? 0 to 2 pi, right? Phi varies from 0 to 2 pi. So we can apply those integrals, and yeah. So because this see, where is the direction of ds bar? It is along the same. Where is the direction of j bar? J bar and ds bar, they are in the same direction. So j bar dot ds bar is equals to j into ds. But what is ds? Ds is this r dr d phi. Ds is what? R dr d phi. So in that case, this because they are in the same direction, so there is no need of vector. So this will be surface integral of j naught, which is constant, into r dr d phi is equals to h into 2 pi r. And if you solve this, what we'll get is, we'll get j naught as constant, integral of r square dr, integral of d phi. What is the limit of r? It varies from 0 to smaller. Why? Because we are finding, so if this is a cylinder of radius a, what we are finding is, we are finding at a small distance r. So this is our r, which varies from 0, from the center, to any point at any distance within the conductor, any distance within the conductor. And obviously phi is what? 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi. So therefore this is equals to h into 2 pi r. So we get j naught, and what will be this? This will be r cubed by 3, and if we apply the limit 0 to r, this will be 2 pi equals to h into 2 pi r. So 2 pi gone. What will we get? So we will get j naught into r cubed by 3 is equals to h into r. So this is also gone. So we will j r square by 3. So h, what is h? So it is j naught r square by 3. This is the h we get. Now this is for what? This is for any point on the within the conductor. This is for any r. This is for any r. So it can be this r. It can be this r. And r. So for any point within the conductor. Now what we want is, so we have got the first part. This is what? For any point within conductor. Any radius within conductor. Now if I want outside of the conductor, if I want outside of the conductor, what I will have to do? Simply here, what changes I will have to do? Instead of small r, what I will put? I will put a. Instead of small r, what I will put? I will put 0 to a r square dr 0 to 2 pi p phi is equals to h into 2 pi r. So everything will remain same. Only thing is here a square will come. So h will be j naught a square by, where a is the radius of the cylinder. So this is like you go to any point on the outside of the cylinder, this remains constant. H remains constant. Why? Because we discussed in the last lecture that H is independent of the medium. H is independent of the medium. That is why H remains constant. Whereas within the conductor, H changes. As the radius changes, H changes. Okay. Is it fine, students? Is this example okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'll take one more example of this Ampere circuital law. Now suppose you have been given, so this was integral form. This was using the integral form. We used this integral form. Okay. J bar dot ds bar is h bar dot. Now we'll go for point form. So this is the point form. Point form means what? Point form means this is valid at a particular point. This relation will hold true at a particular point only. Okay, at that point, if there is a j bar at that point, there is h bar at that point. So at that point only you can say that del cross h is j. Okay, that is why it is called point form. Whereas for surface integral, whereas for line integral, this is valid throughout the conductor. Okay, throughout the conductor, this is valid. Even if the medium changes, even if the surface changes, this is valid. Okay. So like you all have done numericals on Gauss law. So you do it for different surfaces and then you add, right? You integrate for different surfaces and then you add up. Well, that is not applicable for point form. That is not applicable for point form. Okay. So point form we use only when we are talking of a particular point. Okay. So let's do a numerical on point form. Now suppose you have been given, so there is a medium with magnetic field. So magnetic field is given. Okay. H bar is given. It is given as say y square z ax cap plus z ax cap plus 2x plus 1 2x plus 1 into yz y cap yz into ay cap minus x plus 1 into z square az cap ampere per meter. So h bar has been given. So you have been given h bar. So magnetic field is given. Find conduction current density. Find what? Conduction current density. Conduction current density. What is that? That is J bar, right? That is J bar. At a point. At a point 2, 0, minus 1. 2, 0, minus 1. So let us first find this. Okay, and then we'll do the next part, which is based on calculating the that is based on integral. So let us first find this. So we know, see, whenever a point comes, you should understand we have to use point form. Okay. So h bar has been given, and you need to get j bar. So we simply will use the point form from the Ampere circuital law. You can write from Ampere circuital law. We know that del cross h bar is J bar. So H bar has been given. So what? How do we calculate the curl? We simply take a matrix like AX, AY, AZ, the components of H, the components of H. What is that? That is Y square Z. You know, no. First is del. Sorry. First is del. Uh, draw. ठीक है. हाँ तो let me take eraser. So this will be okay. So this is del cross H, right? So first del operator will come. So what is del operator? So del operator is what? Dou by dou x, ax cap plus dou by dou y, ay cap plus dou by dou z, az cap. So first del operator will come. And then the components of H, H1, H2, H3. So Hx, Hy, and Hz. So this will be y square z, 2x plus 1, yz. And this will be minus of x plus 1 into z square. Minus of x plus 1 into z square. Okay. Okay. So you all know, right, how to solve? You all know, right? You all know how to solve this. So simply what do we do? What do we do? We so what do we do? We simply take the curl. So what do we get? We get ax cap into this dou by dou y into this. So basically partial derivative of this. So there is no y here. So this is a constant with respect to y. This is constant. So this will be 0 minus dou by dou z partial derivative of z. So this is 2x plus 1 is a constant. Y is a constant. Derivative of z. This z becomes 1. So this becomes 2 into x plus 1 into y minus ay cap. So this here we take minus sign, okay, which will be what dou by dou x into this. So this will be minus of z square because x plus 1 got derivative 1, and then minus dou by dou z of this. So dou by dou z of y square z, dou by dou z of y square z. So it will be y square plus az of dou by dou x into this. So this will be 2yz. And then dou by dou y of this, so this will be 2yz. Okay. Okay, so this is how we get. Okay, and we can put the values of x, y, and z. We can put the values of x, y, and z. We will get a vector. That is, this vector is j bar. We put the value of x, y, and z. So that is how we use the line form and the integral form. So that was Ampere's second law. I think we can stop. So any doubt till here? Any doubt still here? So it's